Okay, guys, now that we know what rational numbers are, as well as knowing how to add and subtract integers, we're going to put those two ideas together. Remember, no calculator for this unit. Pause in your video as you need. So let's just recall that when we are adding numbers that have the same sign, we're going to add the absolute values and apply the sign of the numbers. So we have a positive 9 plus a positive 3, we get positive 12. When we add negative 9 and negative 3, we get negative 12. Now let's recall when adding numbers that have different signs, we are going to subtract the absolute values and apply the sign of the number having the larger absolute value. So when we have 9 plus negative 3, these are different signs. We get 6. There are more positives, so we have a positive 6. When we have negative 9 plus positive 3, the signs are different. We subtract. We have more negatives, so our answer is negative 6. When we are subtracting numbers, so if we have subtracting problems like we do down here, remember, we're going to apply the property of add the opposite or keep, change, change. Then once we do keep, change, change, we will go back and apply the integer addition rule. So it always goes back to the addition rules. So keep, change, change, keep, change, change. Number 7, if we keep, we change, change. And the last one, keep, change, change. So we only do this if we have subtracting problems like we do here. Now we're going to apply the addition rules. We have all addition problems. Number 5, our signs are different, so we subtract. We have more negatives, so we have a negative 6. Number 6, the signs are the same, so we add and keep the sign. Number 7, signs are different, so we subtract and we have more positives, so we have a positive 6. And number 8, we have the same sign, so we add and keep the sign. When adding decimals, we are going to apply the addition rules of integers. And we're going to line up our decimals. And then we are going to work from right to left. Here we have an addition problem. Signs are the same, so we will add these numbers and apply the negative. So we're going to have a negative answer. I'm going to line up the decimals. We are adding because the signs are the same. So I'm going to say 3 plus 0, 2 plus 9 is 11. Carry your 1. Bring down your decimal. 5 plus 8 plus the 1 is 14. And our answer is negative because both numbers are negative. Number 10, we have a negative added to a positive. So we're going to subtract and take the sign of the one we have more of. 13, I'm going to put on the top, 13.00. I'm subtracting because signs are different. My answer is going to be positive because we have more positives, so I can go ahead and establish that. Now we are going to have to borrow all the way across to the 3, borrow, make that a 2. This 0, instead of 10, becomes a 9, and this 0 becomes the 10. 10 minus 1 is 9. 9 minus 0 is 0. Oh, excuse me, 9. Bring down the decimal, so that's a 9. And then 2 minus 2 is 0. And then 1 minus 0 is 1. So 10.99, and it is positive because we have more positives. Now let's look when we are subtracting decimals. So just like with integers, we're going to apply the property of add the opposite. And then once we apply add the opposite, we will apply the addition rules of integers. And again, we will line up decimals and we will work from right to left. So we have a lot going on here. And again, no calculator here. So we have subtraction. So I'm going to change it to keep, change subtract to add, and change the second number to its opposite sign. Now we look at and apply the addition rules, which means if numbers are opposite in signs, which they are, we're going to subtract. I'm going to put my 8.90 on top, 5.23, lining up the decimals. And we do have more positives than negatives, so we have a positive answer. Here we're going to work again right to left. We have to borrow. 10 minus 3 is 7. 8 minus 2 is 6. Bring down the decimal. 8 minus 5 is 3, so we have a positive 3.67. Number 12, we have a subtraction, so I'm going to apply keep, change, change. This time we are adding numbers that have the same sign, so we add them up and we apply, erase that. It's not going to be positive, it is going to be negative. We have negatives added together to get negative. So I'm going to have 13.00 and we're adding the 2.01. 0 plus 1, 0 plus 0, decimal, 3 plus 2, and 1. So negative 15.01 is your answer. Okay, pause and you practice these. Again, no calculator. When adding and subtracting fractions, remember to make sure the denominators are the same. Then apply the addition or subtraction rules. And when we apply the subtraction rules, we're really doing keep, change, change. And then in the end, if the signs are the same, we will add and apply the sign. And if the signs are different, we will subtract and take the sign of the one we have more of. Lots going on here. 13, we have two negatives being added, so we're going to add these fractions together and apply the negative sign. Let's make some equivalent fractions here. I've already taken care of the negative. I know my final answer is negative, so I'm not going to worry about the negative part in my work here. So the least common multiple for 4 and 3 is going to be 12. So we said 4 times 3 is 12, so we have to multiply the numerator times that same number and get 9. So 3/4 is equivalent to 9/12. 3 times 4 gave us this 12, so we had to multiply this numerator by 4, and we have 4/12. So now we have 9 plus 4 is 13 over the denominator of 12, and it is negative. We can leave it in proper, or we can change it to -1 and 1/12. Number 14, we have subtraction. I'm going to apply keep, change, change. So I have a negative plus a positive. We are going to subtract, and our answer is going to be positive because positive 2/3 is more than negative 4/5. So we're going to have a positive. So I'm not going to worry about the sign as we come over here and make equivalent fractions in order to subtract these. We are subtracting because signs are different. And so 15 is our least common multiple of 5 and 3. So we multiplied 5 times 3 to get 15. So we multiply the numerator by that same number. 3 times 5 gave us 15. So 2 times 5 gives us 10. Okay, we're going to subtract and we get 2 over 15. And again, 2/3 was positive and 2/3 is more than this negative. So our answer is positive 2 over 15. When adding or subtracting mixed numbers, convert to improper. Make sure the denominators are the same. So just another layer of converting. Then apply the addition or subtraction integer rules. And if we're subtracting, we'll do keep, change, change. And then in the end, if signs are the same, you add and apply the sign. If they are different, you subtract and take the sign of the one you have more of. Here we have a negative plus a positive, so we are going to subtract. 2.5 is more than negative 1 1/3, so we are going to have a positive answer. I'm going to convert this to improper. 3 times 1 plus 1, so that's negative 4/3, plus 2 times 2 plus 1 is 5/2. And again, I'm going to be subtracting, but this number is 2.5 is larger, so we are going to have more positives. So we are going to create equivalent. We are subtracting. So we have 6 is going to be the least common multiple of 3 and 2. 3 times 2 is 6, so 4 times 2 is 8. Then we have 2 times 3 is 6, so 5 times 3 is 15. And then we are subtracting. And so when we subtract 15 from 8, we get 7 over 6. And we can leave it as 7, 6 improper, or if we want to convert, 6 goes into 7, 1 with 1 left over 6. And it is positive. I have more positives than negatives. Number 16, we're going to apply keep, change, change. Our signs are the same, so we will add and keep the sign they are, which is negative. So let's convert these. 5 times 3 plus 2, that gives us 17 over 5, negative. 2 times 1 plus 1, and now let's make equivalent fractions. This time 10 is going to be our common denominator. So 5 times 2 gave us 10. So 17 times 2 is 34. 2 times 5 is 10. Therefore, 3 times 5 is 15. I'm not really worrying about the negative in all of this because I've already established the sign in my answer over here. And now we are adding because the signs are the same. So 34 plus 15 gives me a negative 49 over 10. If we want to convert that, we get a negative. 10 goes into 49, 4 with a 9 left over 10. So a lot going on with these rational numbers with adding and subtracting. So please take your time. Do not use a calculator. Once the answer key is revealed, please make sure you go through and you correct all your mistakes.